Hello, Craig Smith of the Home Education Foundation in Palmerston North, New Zealand. In talking about how we as parents can educate our children at home, I've been mentioning a number of books that might be helpful. We came across one a while back, The Harsh Truth About Public Schools by Dr. Bruce Short. Now, Dr. Short is a lawyer in Houston, Texas. We stayed with Dr. Short and his wife, who is also a lawyer, and these two have a very unusual home education program. They get up and they go off to their lawyer's office and do their jobs, and their children are raised or awoken and breakfast by grandma, I believe, and grandma is busy teaching them Mandarin Chinese. A little bit later on, they have a Hispanic lady who comes in to help with lunch and stuff, and she teaches them Spanish. Now, when Mom and Dad come home at the end of the day, 6 or 7, they start in with the other academic stuff, and they go through until midnight. And so the children sleep in until 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Not a problem, because they're getting their academic program and their sleep regime and their food and all the rest of it in there, because they just chop the day up using the hours that they have. Now, Bruce Short, I read this book, and it's just a whole litany of horror stories about what goes on in the American public school system. Now, if you're an American, I don't need to say anything about that. You know what it's like. It's just terrible. It goes on in New Zealand too. Maybe not the mass shootings and that kind of thing, but similar kind of horrible stuff. Anyway, I was saying to Bruce one day, when I met him at a conference over in America, I said, Bruce, I'm about at the point where I would say to people, it's sinful to send your children to a government school. And Bruce said, oh, I never tell people it's sinful to send their children to a public. You don't, Bruce? I've read your book and I've read other material. I thought for sure you'd tell people it was sinful. He says, no, I don't tell people it's sinful to send their children to a public school. I tell them it's grossly sinful. I said, a man after my own heart. And so he was understatement all the time. Grossly sinful, he says to Christians, to send your children to a public school. And anyway, he's an interesting guy with a lot of interesting things to say. Well, that the kind of book there will really just put it in perspective for you how terrible these places are. Thank you very much.